Робочий день. До слова запрошується речник адміністрації президента України.
And now we give the floor to Oleksander Motuzyanyk, Presidential Administration spokesman on ATO-related issues. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Yesterday, the situation in the east of Ukraine has deteriorated. The enemy returned to the tactic of large-scale use of heavy weapons like it was in the summer. During the last 24 hours, the militants used mortars, 122 artillery tanks, and Grad systems. And mostly these shellings were non-precision, but these actions of the militants lead to the escalation of the conflict and the breach of the Minsk agreement. And now more detailed information on the actions that happened in the ATO area. In Lugansk area, one shelling from the side of enemy was observed in Stanitsa Lugansk. The enemy from the right bank of Seversk Donetsk River fired from anti-tank grenade launch. Donetsk area, the enemy used a wide range of weapons in Svetlodarsk Bulge. They used 82 millimeter mortars, APC, and also they used anti-tank guided missiles. In the situation is the same in the north of the Zaitsev of Gorlovka, Zaitsev and Mayorsk. There were mortar shelling and enemy snipers were active. The situation has deteriorated in the part of the front line between Gorlovka and Yasenovata. There were numerous shellings in Novogorsk, near Verkhnetaretska, and near also they used 120 millimeter mortars and less powerful weapons. The hottest spot in the ATO area is the western suburbs of Donetsk. In Pisky, during the last 24 hours, there were 14 episodes of ceasefire violations, and the enemy used cannons of 122 millimeter of caliber and mortars of 120 millimeter of caliber. And in Krasnogorovka, the situation is the same. The enemy used Grad systems for 3 times, and they hide the systems in Staromikhailivka village at the line of contact. The enemy missiles landed near Zorina village in Mariinsky region, and there was no casualties in this incident. And the ceasefire was violated in the area near Avdiivka, Opytna, and Mariinka. Mariupol area, enemy shelling was observed in Shirokina village. The snipers fired twice at our positions, and heavy weapons haven't been used in this area. And yesterday in the ATO area, there were 2 enemy drones in the sky, and during the last 24 hours, in the course of military actions, no serviceman was killed, but 5 were wounded. According to the intelligence service of MOD, there is dissatisfaction and the lack of discipline and morale among the militants. In December 2015, in 1st Mechanized Battalion that is located in Novozovsk, there are 10 episodes of leaving the military unit without permission. And there was a commission that came to investigate this case from Moscow. And also the plans for rotation of staff were broken, and they came from some servicemen were brought from Sverdlovsk to the front line in Vesela Gora Shastya. And the Ukrainian SBU detained the accomplices of the militants, and in Slavyansk they detained a resident who propagated the ideas of separatism. He joined separatists, and he was recruited by the militants.
Later he was recruited by the combatants, and he started to disseminate the leaflets. He was involved in the fundraising, and he actually informed the enemy about the disposition and the routes of displacement of the ATO forces. In Primorsk, near Mariupol, the Ukrainian border guards detained a person who actually participated directly in the armed conflict, the part of the combatants. He confessed everything. Also yesterday, the employees of the policemen detained the former instructor of combatants in Artemirsk. In the period of May through June 2014, this person was involved in psychological and the initial combat training of the young combatants in the ranks of the illegal armed formations DPR. According to that person, he actually left the ranks of the combatants because of the very bad conditions of his work. The Ukrainian law enforcement officers continue to seize different ammunition. They actually seized 5 combat grenades for the sub-barrel grenade launcher on one of the citizens of Avdiivka. Also, yesterday, police seized 5 grenades and more than 300 cartridges from the driver of a vehicle near Slavyansk. Also, we are talking about illegal smuggling of the commodities through the line of contact. They revealed 240 boxes with the counterfeit cigarettes of Russian make. It was established that this cargo was meant to Gorlivka. Ukrainian military servicemen perfect their skills of driving the armored vehicles. They were trained how to shoot from the different military equipment of the PC, etc. The Kharkov National Guards had the special training exercise. They actually were trained how to act in case of the armed attack to the facilities of the military unit, which are guarded by the National Guards of Ukraine employees. This exhausts my information. Thank you for your attention. Are there any questions or clarifications? If none, thank you, Kennel. Thank you, and see you tomorrow. May I remind you that our next press conference will take place